Welcome YouTube, this is the Velvet Locks with another video. We will be talking about the myths of having locks. Okay, so there are so many myths flying about regarding locked hair, and we're going to get to the bottom of these. So I have about a good maybe 13 myths that we're going to discuss right now. The first myth is you can't wash your hair when you start your locks. And that's usually the problem that most new lock wearers run into. They're afraid to wash their hair after they've gotten their locks installed. And when the time comes for wash day, they're being either told that they shouldn't wash their hair for like months until it's locked, or they choose not to wash their hair, or they're afraid to wash their hair because they don't want their locks to unravel. Well, you have to wash your hair, and it's safe to wash your hair, and it's good for locks when they're wet. So for a beginner just starting your lock journey and you just got your new set of locks installed, the best way to wash your hair in that stage would be to get a stocking cap, put it on your hair, wash your hair like you would normally wash it. Maybe not so aggressive, but you are still able to wash your hair without unraveling most of your coils, because eventually they're going to need retightening, retwisting in order to keep that lock transformation going. So you have to wash your hair. Locks love water. Myth number 2, locks require no maintenance. Now that is so far from the truth. Locks, just like regular loose natural hair, needs maintenance. Just because it's already in a formation, that's for more of a mature stage. But regardless of what stage you're in, your locks do need maintenance. You need to retwist from time to time just to keep that pattern going. You need to palm roll your hair just to get it in that uniformed look and to tackle the frizzies. But you do need to maintain your locks. They're not something that just stays on your head and it's forgotten about. You have to take care of your hair like you would normally take care of your regular loose natural hair. This is natural hair. Third myth is locks are not professional. That is so far from the truth. These days, locks are more acceptable in the workplace. As you can see, times have changed, styles have changed, and especially for men, more men are more accepted in the workplace with locks. All you have to do is have them in a nice professional style, a nice neat style, and they will look corporate, okay? For the most part, most businesses do accept the look of locks, and they are very professional. There's so many styles that you can do with your hair that looks good, that would look good in the workplace. So that's a myth. Locks are professional as well. Another myth is that you have to shave your head if you decide to no longer have locks. Now that's not true. You can shave your head low if you decide you do not want to tackle the task of unraveling your locks. Locks can be combed out, but it takes a lot of work. You do not have to shave your head. You just need a lot of conditioner and a comb and some patience. So you can comb out your locks, but it will take a long time, and don't expect your hair length to be the same length as your locks are, because remember, all of this is dead shedded hair. Okay, so when you comb out most of this, you're gonna have a lot of thin hair. So do not expect your hair to look full when you comb it out. The fifth myth is dirt makes your locks grow faster and better. That is not true. Your hair needs to be washed. Your scalp has to be clean in order to have a healthy head of hair. If you do not wash your hair and clean the dirt, the toxins, the pollutants, all of everyday life out of your hair every other week or every week, you will have nothing but buildup and gook on your scalp, causing your scalp not to breathe, not to be able to get any fresh air because of the dirt pollutants that's clogging the scalp pores. So you have to clean that on a regular, or you will have buildup. You will have probably an unhealthy scalp, which can lead to alopecia or other scalp irritations. So to avoid that, you should always keep your scalp clean. do not use conditioner. Now, conditioner, the use of conditioner has always been a question with some people. Me in particular, I do not like to use conditioner in my locks because yes, they will unravel my ends. But conditioner is something that you should always still do to your locks. Now, if your hair is very sensitive to conditioners where it will unravel, what you can do is do some hot oil treatments, giving your hair that moisture that it needs. So if you don't want to use the creamy conditioners, which can eventually lead to buildup if it's not washed out properly, you can also do hot oil treatments with using oils. So yes, you should always condition your locks. Next one is only certain curl patterns can lock. That is so far from the truth. Back in the days, as far as the history of locks, the Scottish, the Mongolians, and the Egyptians used to wear locks even back in the biblical days. So even Caucasian hair can lock. Now, if you have a more kinky, curlier hair pattern, your hair will lock faster. Even with straight hair, your hair will lock. You may have to do some back combing. You may have to put some kind of really stiff stuff in there just to get it started. You may even have to interlock just to start the knot process, the lock process. So yes, Caucasian hair can lock, Oriental hair can lock, any kind of hair can lock, but kinky hair can lock faster. All hair is lockable hair. You can use regular hair grease on your locks. No, you cannot. Regular hair grease is loaded down with petroleum and maybe even some sort of wax. That is not good for your locks. That can cause dirt buildup, your scalp to get clogged. Your hair has to breathe. You should not clog your pores using anything that has petroleum, beeswax, mineral oils, butters. You know, you have to be very mindful. You should always use oils in your hair or something that might be diluted so that when it's time to wash out, it's easier to wash out of your hair. But heavy grease will cause buildup, will cause your locks to eventually fall out because grease sucks the life out of your locks. Another one we're going to tackle is every cosmetologist is a loctician. Do not think that way. It is not true. Just because someone may be in the field of makeup and hair or maybe a hairstylist doesn't mean that they are professional with doing locks. Doesn't mean that they are knowledgeable with doing locks. You should always consult with someone who is knowledgeable in the field of locked hair. Do not allow anyone in your hair that does not tell you what they're doing, what they're getting ready to do, or what they're using in your hair. There's so many locticians that, you know, that are out there that really don't know what they're doing. They may use glue in your hair. I've heard of things where people have used glue, super glue, because they said that's natural. They've used honey to lock their hair. They've used all sorts of waxes. They've even used dirt. Anyone that you go to do your hair and this is the things that they want to put in your hair, run like Forrest Gump. Okay? Get out that chair and run. Because that is not the way to start your locks or to maintain your locks. What they're doing is killing the longevity of you having locks in your hair, because eventually all of that stuff is going to sit there, cake up, build up, and your hair will weigh down and end up breaking off. So do not go to someone who does not know what they're doing with locks. Another myth that we're going to tackle is expect your locks to be slicked down, laid to the ground. This is not loose, straight hair. This is natural, kinky, coily hair or matted, locked hair. And with that, you will not see sleekness. You will not get that straight look as though you have permed hair. It's not going to happen. So you should always embrace the fact that your hair is going to be kinky. It's going to be frizzy. It's going to have its own way at times. And sleek stuff, anything you use to sleek down your hair is not healthy. You should not be retwisting your hair every week or every 2 weeks because you want that refined, sleek look. You should not be interlocking your hair on a regular. Every time you have new growth, you're interlocking your hair or you're retwisting your hair, because what this does is thins out your locks and you end up having broken off locks because you are retwisting too often, or trying to get that sleek, manicured, tapered, or yeah, you're trying to get that kind of look with locks. Know that locks are not like that. You're gonna have frizziness, and if you don't embrace it, you're gonna have you're gonna come out the game pretty fast, because your locks are gonna thin off really fast and break off. Reduce frizz with scissors. Now, some people have started doing that with their locks, you know, and especially in the beginning stages when your locks are getting into that locking mode, meshing, and all of that. Well, you may have frizziness. You may have a lot of frizziness. Even after you do your hair, you may have frizziness because your hair is being trained. It's in a training process. So some people usually try to shear their locks by, you know, shaving off the frizzies. What this does is thins out your locks and eventually will break your lock. I do not recommend that you cut your frizzes off. What you can do is do a method as tip 1, palm rolling. When you do your hair, you palm roll, and always palm roll on moisturized hair because that also breaks. Well, what you do is you palm roll to get that more uniform look so that your frizzies aren't sticking out, that they're actually meshing and mending in with the locks. Another tip is when you have just regular new growth in your hair and you just see the frizzies just popping up, you just wrap the frizzies like this one right here. You see all these frizzies right here? You just wrap your frizzies around your locks.
It's a part of locking, okay? Embrace the frizzies. Embrace the frizzies.
The next myth is there's an ugly stage of locks. Well, I tell you like this, I wouldn't call it an ugly stage. I would call it more of an awkward stage. And each stage is a beautiful stage because it's your locks developing and transforming into actually locking. So you will have that beginning stage of awkwardness because your hair is not doing or not looking the way you would like it to look in the beginning. You're going to have lots of frizzes, you're going to have budding, you're going to have a lot of things going on that's not going to look that great. In the beginning, you may not feel comfortable. So there's other ways to get around that stage by maybe head wraps, head ties, scarves, hats. Some people even use wigs, which I don't recommend, but to each his own, and everyone does whatever they need to do in that awkward stage. But locks are beautiful in all stages, even in the awkward stage. And last thing I'm going to talk about, or should I say the last myth, is locks provide limited style options. Now this is so far from the truth. Locks are very versatile. You can do with your locks anything loose natural hair wearers can do. Your locks can go into so many styles. It can be curled, it can be crimped, it can be cut into various styles, it can be colored, it can do anything. You can put them in updos, ponytails. So just know that if you choose to lock your hair, you will hear the myths, but knowledge is wisdom. Learn your hair, learn and do your research before going into the stylist chair, and know what to expect in each stages of your journey. All right, hopefully these were helpful tips for you, especially when you are in that beginning undecided, or just in that beginning stages wanting to know what to expect. These are the myths, okay? Well, I hope this video was very informative for you, and I will have more lock videos coming your way really soon. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe at the bottom. Turn that notification button on for this channel so that you will not miss another video, and you will get 1 to 2, even 3 videos per week. All right, so this is the Velvet Locs, and I'm gone. Are very versatile, and whatever natural hair wearers can do with their hair as far as styling, you can also do that with lock hair.